actually have been working on, okay, before, okay. So we actually have been introduced to you guys. Were basically, right, some of the important tools that you guys will use to work with AI there, okay, with Adobe Illustrator there, right? So I want to give you guys a bit kind of examples for today is when you actually start to work with those AI there, okay, uh, from this stage, okay, previously, I believe that you guys actually plan all these kind of elements that you draw without having a proper kind of process of developing your ideas, right? Okay, we just actually just direct say because normally what we call that uh, the the learning process, okay, like monkey see monkey do there, right? Okay, but you're not monkey lah, right? Okay, maybe I am the right, okay, a part of the gorillas there, right? Um, what you see that what basically you will do there, okay, all right. Or sometimes in the Malay phrase there, okay, if the teachers, okay, take a pee, all right, while standing there, the the children's or the students will pee by running there, right? You heard that kind of phrase there, the phrase there? All right. So sometimes student will be more advanced there, right? Okay, from us. All right. Sometimes there. But in terms of ideas itself, in terms of ideas there, right? In order to develop a very solid ideas, there has to be come out with the development process there, right? Okay. Rarely, normally people will draw everything in their mind and then put it into a masterpiece, okay, for their works there, right? Rarely there, right? Okay. And one of the most important thing that I already I did told the earliest kind of the group earlier there, right? Okay. The morning sessions. When you want to meet with your clients later on, even though you have the very high-end technologies of laptop drawing tablet that you want to show off to your clients, don't you ever create or develop your ideas while you discuss with your clients in front of them using your laptop or using your device, unless you want to do some sketches, rough ideas there. Ideas there. Don't take it wrong. Oh, I don't have to, I cannot actually draw anything. No, right? You can take notes and you can do rough sketches. Rough, okay? Raw and rough there, right? Okay? Sketches, not the finishing kind of works there. The reason is if you actually can, even though you can actually do some of the quick kind of works, just to give them some example how you can do the works that you do the job right, don't you ever finalize your works there. You can show off a little bit kind of your skill to your clients there in order to make sure that you want to say to them, all right, by visually that you actually the right persons for the job. All right, especially when you go to the interviews, for example, there, right? Okay, but interview also they have a few kind of criteria methods that works, but normally we don't actually. If they want to give you guys some of the example, okay, you try to test to do this kind of design for half an hour, it's okay. But if they give you a few minutes only, let's just say, okay, try to sketch one this kind of objects there in 5 minutes or 2 minutes or 3 minutes there. It's impossible for you can come out with a very good kind of complete kind of design. But they want to see yours only. Whether you can draw or not, whether you can develop the ideas in the short times or not. That's the basically the benchmark of the ideas that they have in order to get to know the person, right? Okay, when they interview you guys later on. Those are the things there. All right, remember that. So by this week, okay, from this week there, right? Okay, you guys have been explained from Miss Anis, okay, about compositions, the backgrounds, okay, a layout there, right, okay, how to, what we call that, separate between the foregrounds, ground, and background at the same time there, right, okay, and I'm going to emphasize a little bit more on the how basically you're going to compose a very simple kind of composition that we actually have done basically last week, but we played with these two different kind of compositions there, how to work with those kind of high and low kind of horizons that to develop the right kind of compositions for your sceneries or for your backgrounds illustrations or landscape illustrations here, right? But the illustration that you're going to create is a fictions were based from your own ideas there. Even though you can get enough few kind of reference to guide you, but don't trace them. You sketch them. How many sketches that we need? Five. Five sketches there, okay? The same kind of locations there, but you rearrange them back, okay? And you can add a few elements that you find quite interesting, and later on you can add also your characters there. And remember one thing, why actually we try to relate it with this exercise with our assignments there. When we want to design our characters there, when you have designed your characters based on the Bobby characters, right? What you need to do normally, we have to design the world for that characters there, where basically the characters live, the environment that basically reflect basically those design there, okay? All these kind of questions you need to have in mind in order to execute in a proper way for your works. All right? Are you guys ready? Okay, I want to introduce you guys first Photoshops. Okay, right now I'm using tablet pen, right? I'm using my own tablet here there, okay? So as I told you guys before, if, if I'm actually right using my tablets in my homes, right? Basically, if I'm actually going to conduct online classes, I'm going to use this kind of tablets that actually works, okay? But this one won't be able to come out from those from my home, okay? Because I bring another one last week basically, okay? Which actually right the different kind of model from Intuos Wacom Bamboo, if I'm not mistaken, there, which actually I'm going to use them if we can actually settle our connections, okay, our drivers basically in our lab there, okay? Because if you want to buy or you have bought basically the tablets, right? Make sure you install also the drivers there. They give you guys a CD there, okay, a DVD there, okay, which actually you have to install the driver when you plug in your tablets, okay, to your USB port there, right? A tablet pen that we use like Huon, okay, Wacom, and also another version is basically right. It's a what version basically right? The one actually right they use there. So another version that okay, I can't remember the names there, okay. So that version, okay, any kind of tablet that you guys going to use, okay, for your there, normally it needs for us to install the drivers there. It's not actually plug and play and just you just do whatever that you want from there. Because why? Without the right kind of installing the drivers there, right? You won't be able to get. Yeah, I'm going to add some details later on. The pressure strokes, right? You won't be able to do this one there, right? Okay, just like sorry there, right? I didn't share the screen there yet. You guys can see the screen, right? You won't be able to do this one there, right? This is one of the reasons, and this is also one of the reasons there. You see the difference there, right? We have the pressure strokes there, right? We have the pressure strokes there, right? for our design there, right? For our drawing and sketches there. We can sketch exactly like using those pencils there, or pen, or charcoal, right? Or any traditional medias there, right? They have this kind of pressure line and strokes there, right? Okay. This is what basically we want when we want to draw, or when we want to design, or using those tablets there, right? Okay. You guys can see there, right? Okay.
Yep, we can see.
Okay. So those are the reasons there. Otherwise, we go back into our old kind of mouth there, right? Okay. To work on that. So this is basically the main reason why we use those tablets there, right? Okay. We can actually draw freely, right? Okay. Any ideas that we want to work there. You want to show off your clients, basically, you sketch it out there first, like this, for examples there. So you can make your clients more confident on your works there. But if you try to sketch, but the design look like this one, Tesla, right? Right. Some people still will draw like this one. I believe that, right? Right. If you seems to have this kind of hesitations when you draw, even though you're using those pencils, they're right. Anyone have this kind of experience before? Right. So if you have, they're right. Uh, that means you have to change the way you draw. Okay, the way you draw. But even though you draw hand, also look like there's a lot of fur there. Okay, right? Like a bulu there. Okay, over there. Okay, this is not the right way to draw. Right? It doesn't have bring enough kind of confidence there. Okay, when you draw them. So avoid them. All right. So when I actually have been using this tablet there, okay, for the last I think more than 25, 6, 7 years maybe there, right? I never change the device that I have, but I want to upgrade there later on. Maybe I can use my eyes only to draw. If I lazy enough to move my hand there, right? Huh? No, okay. But there is a few kind of technology I saw there, okay, that for the paralyzed kind of artist there, okay, that he actually can draw before. Right, I've seen there, okay, on YouTube if I'm not mistaken there. So this artist basically he cannot actually move he's been paralyzed, okay, because of the condition that he has. So the engineers, I think that they actually create one of the device technologies, okay, that this guy can draw using his brain and eyes together that to move there, okay, and he's using his mouth that to move around, okay, those kind of cursor there, okay. It's quite impressive there, right? So if you say or if you think, right, especially new students, I don't have any talents, I don't have any skills, I'm not actually buying that, okay? Because I've seen there, okay, people can draw using legs, people can draw using mouth and eyes and mind there, okay, their brain there, okay. So you guys have everything that you want there, okay? I believe that, right? But in terms of skills, they has to be developed from time to time today. You cannot assume you have the tablet today and suddenly you can draw right as perfect as you want there, okay? If you don't have enough kind of understanding there, right, to draw the right kind of strokes for your characters there, right? Have you guys experienced these kind of drawings before, guys? We call it a gesture line drawings. These gesture line drawings basically emphasize on the on the on one of the intensive exercise that help art students to develop basically their skills. It came from a few number kind of techniques or exercise that been trained, that we actually have trained the student, and we actually also have been with experience the same there. Okay, to learn about drawing skills, you have to know the techniques there. You want to draw in the right way, not the perfect way, the right way to draw. You need to understand the right kind of techniques, just like playing badminton there. Everyone can play badminton there, but the techniques to become the champions, you have to train in the right way, in the right methods there, right? Okay? So to train people in the right methods, they don't have to start with the some of the grid line like this, okay? This is one of the way. So you draw, okay, you want to draw shapes of their faces, you combine all the line over here like that, for example. There's one techniques that I actually believe that some people actually have been what we call that uh, given, okay, for the student. It's a good kind of trainings there, right? One of the good methods that training there, okay? But this kind of what we call that indications of working there, okay, with this kind of methods, that the grid line there, okay, to create this kind of alignment and measurements there, okay, is a very good, but it's not the only techniques that can help people to see things in the right way. Because whatever that you're going to do, first of all, you need to train yourself to train your eyes to see things in the right way, right? To train your eyes to see things in the right way first. And then learn to develop and control the strokes. We don't draw like this. Okay, we don't draw like this one there. Okay, to draw the perfect circles there or get the right circles there. We draw like this one there, right? Control Z, we draw like this. Okay, to develop the right kind of strokes before we are going to add those details. Right? Before we are to add those details there. Okay? Before we're going to add all those details. Okay? So this is basically the thing that you have to practice there, right? Okay? But of course, I will give you guys some options there, right? There's some options there. For those who actually doesn't have those tablets and you are not actually from the FIT, right? Okay? BCDM kind of what we call the courses, right? But if you really want to invest yourself because you really have a lot of interest in developing your design skills, I would suggest you to buy them, like to invest one directly. But if you don't want to, I don't want to force you guys. But BDCM, right? You need to, right? You need to there, right? Because if you're taking animation classes later on, but for me there, okay, for my kind of what we call that kind of module there, okay, that I actually follow from our faculties kind of folks, okay, I will use tablet that right? Anything that related to those design, we have to teach and also give some experience to the students. Like me, okay, for my kind of subject that I teach in other campus, at other college, I force the student to buy them. You don't buy tablets, you won't be able to make it through with my illustration classes. Okay? Because I'm going to do those demonstrations a lot using Photoshop, paint it up, doing some self-directed a lot using those tablets there. Without the tablets, without pen and tablet, okay, mouse, the things will make a little bit more slow. The progress are going to be more slow there. There's a lot of restrictions there. I want to ask you guys one question. For those who actually use touchpad there, right? On your laptop, okay? Can you draw like this one? Anyone can draw like this?
No, sir.
Are you sure? Nowadays, everything is possible there, right? But is it possible for you to draw? I think Jessica have been trained, right? You have been trained, right? Before that, to use touchpad to do some sort of design, right? Is it Jessica?
Uh, no, I
No?
use a drawing tablet
Oh,
also to do my
okay.
drawings.
All right. I thought that, okay, because some students actually use those touchpad, okay, to works with those AI. It's quite impressive there, okay, but that for AI. For image manipulations, to compose, to do some sort of effects, yes. But drawings, I never seen before, okay. Paintings, maybe yes. Digital paintings or painting, you can actually use this kind of your fingers, your own fingers to paint there, right? Okay. Even though digital paintings there, right? But drawings there to develop your sketches there, we're talking about planning your ideas there, right? Okay? I don't think so. They're right. So for those who don't have those tablets, don't worry there. I won't force you guys. I know basically the difference, okay, of your, we call that priorities that you have, okay. But I want you guys to sketch inside your sketchbooks, or you have, if you have sketchbooks with you, or A4 papers there. So planning your kind of ideas, sketch your ideas inside your in a piece of papers there, on a piece of papers or sketchbook there, right? Okay, I will show you guys later on how actually I'm sketch, okay, in my sketchbooks, okay, so to give you guys more ideas at how it works. Okay, guys. So far, no questions, right? Why actually we use Photoshops? So today, I've been giving you guys, okay, I've been giving the students, okay, how basically we are going to work with this kind of compositions there. Very simple compositions there, okay? If you take a look at the sketches there, okay, the wrong sketches and right sketches there, right? The quality of line, the volume of strokes, right? And also the right kind of studies there. When we see these two different kind of sketches there, okay, drawing there, you can see there is two different kind of quality, right? And of course, if you go to any interview, when people ask you to draw one single character, right? Okay, if you actually one of the boss, okay, one of the employees there, right, okay, that want to hire people there. If you have, if you go to those, you become a panel there. There is two drawings there. Even though I didn't, I already actually right. Okay, put this one is wrong on there. Okay, this is maybe my opinion there. I want to ask you guys, with these two drawings there, which one basically that you actually saw from your kind of understanding, even though maybe you cannot draw. Some of the bosses, they know how to make money there, right? But they don't need to know how to draw there, but they can value things. Okay, remember that, right? They have the taste also. They have a taste there, right? Okay? So don't underestimate the bosses there. So if you take a look from these two different kind of drawings, which one, you have two different kind of people there again, which one do you will hire there, right? Okay? Even though we know the answers, I want to hear from you there. Which one? The first one, the left or the right one?
The left one.
The right one.
The left one.
The left one there, right? Why? Why?
Because it looks more professional.
Okay, okay. Okay, that's the words there, okay? Simples there. You don't have to we don't have to explain about the element and principles there, okay? Because no one cares about it. But we do. We do there, okay? So professional is one of the very basic kind of impressions or words that people always use there. Look more professional there. People have see the confidence, even though the line that actually right, this guy actually been doing to construct the structures, they actually have more repeat kind of line there. This is would look more like a more one single line there, okay? But there is a lot of hesitation there, right? You can saw the difference there. That's why when you want to sketch your idea or you want to develop your ideas, you have to practice from today to develop the right kind of way to sketch. Right, guys? Each one of you guys. Even though you actually from other courses there, okay, other kind of modules or other kind of what we call that discipline, you will be in our family there, right? So you have to learn the same thing. Otherwise, there's no point, okay? Everyone can use AI, everyone can use Photoshop. Don't worry there. You can learn AI Photoshop, okay, for one of the short courses there. I think 3 days also you can learn Photoshop AI and you can do your works. But the problem is the value of your work. The values of your works, okay? That's why you're taking around 10 weeks to 12 weeks to develop this kind of skills, design skills, not Photoshop or AI skills only or Adobe Illustrators, After Effects skills only there. We don't want you guys just to learn about the tools. We want to learn, we want you guys to learn about value things there, the value of the process from those designs. Okay, now you see there, okay, and now you don't know that, right? Okay, those are one of the films there. I love that films also about magics tricks. So now you see how actually right people develop those design, not just click one buttons and everything going to be complete. Right, the computer going to do for us there. One uncle say to me, hey, you do those design, okay? Right, can you actually do the click one and then finish the design, right? Okay? All this kind of work. So those are the things that I always actually get sometimes from the layman there, okay? Just click, easy lah. Right, okay, just click one, right? But when actually we discuss and we develop in front of them, not the finished design, they sketch the ideas there, develop the reference, the research, okay, to present all this kind of stuff there, okay, the chronology of the process there, okay, they will find it's not easy basically to design or to develop one brand for characters, right? Look easy for people's mind there, right? But when you actually jump into those kind of process and all this kind of discussion, amendment to find the right kind of design for your content or for your brand, you will more appreciate, okay, that's it, right? It's not that easy directly to find the right kind of characters that cast directly. Those are the things that right. So now, okay, how about the compositions here? Okay, they have a two different kind of uh, what we call that horizon line that we can use to develop a very simple kind of composition there. Yes, when you look at some of the reference, some of the samples that Miss Alice actually have been shared with us, right? Okay, this is one of the good reference there. Please take note, please review back again, okay? All this kind of very good kind of information there because it's basically going to be your guideline, okay? Guideline there, okay? If you look at this kind of compositions there, okay? All these kind of compositions there, okay? Even though you cannot actually memorize all the names, please memorize those arrangements, right? The arrangements there. Foregrounds, middle ground, background. Simple there. Foreground, middle ground, background there. Say it. Foreground, middle ground, background. I feel like I actually a Dora the Explorers lah, right? Right. Dora the Explorers, they're right. Foreground, middle ground, background there. Right. Delicioso. Guys, why you guys so serious, huh? Got more details there.
Maybe too much lunch.
Too much lunch, eh? Tanzina Kabir Farisa, what left? Oh, more, got more details. Okay, good, right. Filia Angel, okay? Suddenly laugh there, right? Right. Dora the Explorer. I love the show, right? Even though it's for kids, but I find it quite interactive there. Because when I actually been doing this kind of concept, ideas, design for some of the companies, okay, before there, okay, for some of the years, right? Uh, I have to do all this kind of research there. I have to wash back again all these kind of cartoons there in order to develop my strategies when I present my ideas there, okay? So we have to do this kind of research a lot there, okay? So that's why nowadays rarely actually I watch a lot of cartoons nowadays, okay, because of the time that I have, right? But when I actually get into the works, okay, if I get into the works, I really will go back into this kind of routine there. So I will do more research there, okay, and watch as many as cartoon that can be related to the projects that I'm going to handle there, right? So those are the things were basically a part of the routine for any designers there, right? Any designers there, right? So whatever that what we actually have been given, Miss Anis has actually given it, okay? Some of the lecture have been given you guys. Use it as a part of your routine because you have to create all this kind of discipline of working there. Otherwise, you just learn, close the books, go to sleep, play games, and live your life like normal person there. Our life is not normal there. Once you actually decide to become a part of the members in creative kind of communities, our life is not going to be normal anymore there. Right? If you think you're normal, go into deep into your feelings and your heart and see whatever that you guys been doing there, right? Okay. There's no normal person actually will come into this kind of situations to learn something that no one think that can make money out of it. Okay, make a living out of it there. So it's not normal there, right? So now take a look here. All right, all this kind of reference can be used as a part of your guideline to develop your own kind of compositions later on. Okay, try to connect with it, even though I'm not going to use them, but basically I actually have done the same thing. Okay, for examples there, layered plane kind of compositions, right? Basically, I'm using the same with this kind of drawings, this kind of compositions there. Layered plane, but they look a little bit more complex because I'm not using a plain kind of shapes there. I'm using strokes. Foreground, middle ground with the characters itself, and the background there, right? Same, the same there, guys. Can you find the relations there? Same goes to this one. But I didn't use, okay, don't be too naive here, right? Because some people say, okay, this is the shapes a little bit here, a little bit more like round, okay, like a cave there. Yeah, lah, you can draw also the same thing if you want to. You can put the trees right here, right? The tree logs away if you want to. Right. For examples there. Okay, let me actually develop a little bit more from here. Just to give you guys more kind of clear understanding there, okay? Let's just say we have the sketches, okay? Yeah, before that, okay, before I actually going to be what we call that, forget already, about the low horizon and the high, sorry, and the high horizons there. I'm using basically the same kind of images, the same kind of compositions there, the same kind of sketches, but I've changed the horizons there. Okay, this is the low horizons, this is the high horizons there. The same kind of landscapes, the same kind of what we call that objects directly in the foreground there basically, but we can actually use a different kind of arrangements. Okay, but there is no guy over here lah, because just now when I actually designed this kind of what we call that sketches there, right? Again, this kind of compositions. Basically, I add another characters over here, right? These characters there, right? Just to arrange them back. So if we actually sketches using those Photoshop or digital media, okay, and we have the layers itself there, right? So we can actually rearrange some of the compositions according to what we need, basically, right? From this one, right? I can actually use also some arrangements there to make the whole composition a little bit more balanced there. Foreground, basically this object, this character there, middle ground, and background, the same thing. So by this week, I want you guys to play around with this kind of high and low horizon kind of compositions. 5 different kind of compositions that based in this high and low kind of horizons there first. Okay, because to learn about compositions basically is a very kind of complicated if you don't understand how to manage to make it more easy to see or to see easy to learn there. I'm also taking this kind of understanding quite sometimes there, because when I was like you guys, I always thought that, okay, because in in what we call that compositions or perspective or background scenarios, okay, we need to understand that, okay. Let me see, I'm going to draw some of the samples over here first, just to give you guys some examples there, because just now I didn't explain, because I know I will explain more basically for another classes there, okay. So we have 1 point perspective, 1 point perspective there, right? 2 point perspective there, and 3 point perspective there, right? In order to develop 1 or 2 point perspective, you need to have the vanishing line there, okay? Vanishing point or vanishing line there, okay, to work with. If you use the low horizon or the high horizon there, or the more lowest horizon there, right? Where's basically your vanishing point to indicate those kind of understanding on the composition or the perspective itself there, right? Okay, to develop the right kind of perspective there. Okay, I will maybe later on we're going to go into details there, right? Okay, so if you want to play with some 2 point perspective, okay, the vanishing points, sorry, there, right? In Photoshop, basically the indication of the tools, right? The organization of the arrangement of the tools or navigation them is almost the same like AI. The difference is, if someone actually haven't used before, they use raster, right? Raster kind of versions of raster kind of format, okay? So the AI is a vectorized, okay? Vector format, okay? So if I'm using, right, this kind of what we call that arrangements, 2 point perspective, this is a vanishing point, right? Then we actually can design a buildings out of it, right, from here. 2 point perspective, right? Okay, 2 point perspective there. So I don't want you guys to get mixed up first, okay, with this kind of understanding, because we can use also AI nowadays to work on that, okay. But the point is right now, the ideas that you can develop from here, right? Because some people, when they give some example to the design student about the perspective kind of understanding there, right? We always relate it with architectures there, right? Or landscape design there. Okay? Right. To learn perspective, we cannot actually apply all these kind of methods for one single kind of sessions only there, right? Okay? For one single session is only there. So we have to develop that kind of understanding by doing several kind of exercise. Okay. Normally we have one single semester learn about perspective only, buildings, anything there, landscapes there, okay? To develop that kind of things there. But for multimedia illustration students, we give you guys some basics, but I love to give you guys how to bend the rules there. Those are the things that I always love to do, right? Because we understand few examples, the rules there, okay? What can make, what cannot, okay? For example, the perspective itself there, okay? And then we cue them up, we playing around with it. As long there is a logic there. But I saw back again Batman Samurai yesterday with the kids there, right? When I watched that Batman Samurai there, okay, of course the design, the works is tremendous, nice there, super nice there. But there is also a lot of non-logic, fictional kind of shit, right? That actually been portrayed and at that animations there, from that stories there, from that the whole kind of stories there. One of it, I don't know, okay, whether I actually have skipped some of the scenes there, right? What I saw there, right? That actually, right, on the Batman there, there's one scene. Batman suddenly have the beard and also the mustache, right? He's wearing a Japanese kind of wardrobe, lah, right? I think. When the bad guy, okay, Joker's kind of what we call that armies actually right, attack their hidden places. When he become Batman, suddenly, right, suddenly there, all their beards, okay, is off from the faces. All right, in a split second. This is one of the nonsense that I saw from this animation there. I laugh at it, okay? What happens there? Just now we see Batman actually have those kind of beard, everything, right? Full kind of beard there. Suddenly become Batman there, okay? When they've been attacked there, okay, by the Joker's kind of clan, right? When he wearing a bad kind of costumes, the beards, everything's has cleaned up shaved there in a few seconds there. I think it's quite, I would say this is quite nonsense, okay? But this is animations lah, right? Animations there. So if that kind of quality of movie animations, right, okay, can also do those kind of nonsense there, right? So we also can bend the rules when we design our work, but with the type of logic that people can see, the things that we do, we try to make believe there. We try to make beliefs out of it there, right? Okay. Those are the things that we need to understand there, right? Okay. So, any questions so far? Before I'm going to go through back again. Okay, 3-point perspective is quite complicated a bit. So I don't want you guys to mix them up. But if you guys like from David actually from the architecture, okay, I don't think that he has problem with it, okay. But for some of you guys, I don't want to jump out a bit more on the details yet because I want to go through with the sketches there, all right, with the sketches there first, okay. But the best thing that you can do first to understand 1-point perspective basically will based on this kind of vanishing point there, right? Is it right, David? There, am I doing right there, David? Are you here?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Is it right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, David. Okay. So I have another assistant from other department there, okay, to make sure that I'm not actually teach you guys the wrong kind of religions of design there, right? All right. So perspective basically, right, okay, if you take a look, I actually always look perspectives is quite complex kind of way, technical kind of way to develop the capabilities kind of styles there, okay. But the point is right now, I'm going to give you guys a very simple kind of way first. The high horizon or the low horizon there. We start with the high horizon first. Let's just say this is the ground. Make sure, right, okay, you know the high horizon is basically the vanishing point, right? For examples there, right? Of the line itself to indicate where basically the ground is. People want to ask you guys, when people ask you guys, where's basically the ground there, right? Draw the ground first. Don't draw something without any ground there. Otherwise, you're going to draw a floating kind of cities there. Now, right here, this is the ground. We start with what? Let's just say, okay, I draw trees, okay, a lot. When people ask you guys to draw KL towers, how are you going to draw the KL towers? Using the basic structures there. Right, this is how actually I draw there, right? Okay, KL towers there, using the basic structures there, right? Okay, using my own indications of ideas there. KL towers lah. And some of the buildings there, right, that may be from the different kind of, right, areas there, right, that nearby the areas there. For example there, right, we draw a bit more like a cartoon version styles there, okay? Why? Because it's basically, for me, it's really fun for me to use to work there, right? And also easy for me to give some examples there. And I know not all people can draw well. So the best thing is learn to sketch well first. So nearby KLCC, there is a KL Tower there, okay? KL Towers, right? This is KL Towers. And nearby KL Towers, right, there is KLCC, right? You see how complex KLCC is, right? A lot of windows there, right? I think most of the architect students, right, really hate to draw them, right? But in terms of drawing the landscapes there, okay? But as I actually have told you guys, you guys have been trained as a designers there. We have the license to not to kill, but to change, to improvise the thing that we saw. All right, to draw this kind of buildings there, right? Okay, I'm using all the basic structures and shapes. So KLCC, how many pillars do we have? Editing 4, right? Maybe, right? Using the same kind of arrangement there, right? Yeah, sketches there, right? This is one tower. Examples. I'm using lasso tools there. Okay, lasso tools to select the areas there. It's not for the cowboy tools that copy, Control C and paste right here. Right? Don't worry there. Right? Even though they actually, when I actually design them, it's out from the grid there, right? So what we can do right here, we can actually write draw the bridge. The bridge there. AKL hours there. AKLCC there, right? Then we can actually arrange them. We can actually lock them, the layers there, link that, right? And then we arrange them. Right. This is basically the landscape for those cities, for example, there. So any kind of landmark of the buildings that you actually can memorize and develop the different kind of shapes, go ahead, you can do that, okay? But I'm trying to create my fictional kind of ideas to design basically those buildings there, right? Okay, using a very simple kind of shapes that is. Even though there's a look not doesn't look like real there, okay? We design things. Remember that, right? We design things that to make it more interesting there, right? This is what we do. Okay. Using all the shapes itself there. Okay, without the tree, without the natures, the whole compositions will become dull there, right? So what we can do? design those niches there. Want to balance with the buildings there, right? Simple, right? So these two different kind of layers just now because I copied this KLCC there, okay? The second towers there. Then I combine them, right? Combine or merge the layers there, right? How actually I do that? Link first, but if you use the new versions, which is I didn't get yet from your friend there, okay? Because I didn't plan to install the new versions there, right? Even though I know the new version have a lot of good kind of brushes that I can explore from there. Maybe not for now there, right? Okay. Because my works, okay, basically right now I'm using very standard brushes, okay, to paint some of the background for my works there. So I didn't use, okay, a lot of fancy brushes anymore. Even though I felt that if I have those new versions, there's a lot of things I can do from there. So this is your first high horizon. Enough compositions there. Okay, so this is the ground there, right? This is KLCC, this is a cityscape there, okay? You can do all these kind of buildings later on after this from there. But we're talking about compositions, we're talking about layout, we're talking about arrangements here. Using the high horizon kind of, what we call that layout over here. So what we can actually plan over here. Okay, from here, I want to do some, this is the background actually, not a foreground. So let's just say nearby KLCC, there is a garden there, right? From that garden, I will draw, well, maybe there is a bush of tree there, for example, or leaves there, right? From here, okay? There's a flower there. I don't know what flower is this, but using very simple shapes that we can apply a foreground for these compositions there. See the balance there, the asymmetrical balance, okay, between these two different kind of elements there, right? If from here you want to make it the structures look a bit more, the sketches, okay, I'm sketching it out, right? Okay, even though my sketch is a bit more neat now, right? Because I just want to give you guys a bit kind of more examples how actually we can construct the structures or the sketches line over here there, okay? So you saw just now one of the compositions from your lecturing class, right? Okay, about the curved line, the curved shape that they actually, right? Okay, have the, we call that like a cave kind of shape on the foreground there. What I can do from here, maybe I can sketch it out. Some of the tree log over here, a branch of trees there, right? Yeah, sketches, all right? Okay. To put on this foreground there, right? And draw a bit more, right? Some leaves over there, sketches there, right? Roughly. You see the compositions going to be a bit more different there, right? What's next we can do from here? Then we can start to design maybe your characters. Maybe this time you're going to design your characters that based on the vomited characters, right? I just imagine them first. But this is a sketches based on that shapes. I'm not saying that I'm going to use entirely the same shapes there. I'm using the same layers there just now there, right? So what I can do, I can cut this one, cut and paste there first. For the characters, because I can move around my sketches there, rearrange my sketches there. So what's next there again? Eyes, nose, all right, the mouth there. And the eyes again. All right. This is only a plan there, okay? That's why when you sketch, we plan that first. So what's next there, okay? The tail. Maybe the leg there, okay? Because I have to combine also the way we're supposed to approach from our lessons there, okay? From our assignments there. Even though I can do more from there, but I just want to give some examples there. So basically, we have the characters right here, there, guys. And of course, the landscape, we can actually do more free kind of form there, right? So maybe, right, okay, this is the foreground, right? In the foregrounds, right, with the middle ground, okay? I am using 3 layers there, guys, okay? Don't get mixed them up, okay? This is basically some of the experiment that I did just now. 3 layers only there. Characters, foreground, and also some high horizon kind of layout there, okay, based on the drawings there. So what I can do right here, I just draw some of the details if I want to. Trees, some grasses there, right? Sometimes you can draw the grasses so like this one there, right? Sketches there, simple kind of sketch. To give more kind of impact and also to make it a bit more like use a lot of very good kind of space there, okay, to add a bit more kind of details there. The details doesn't have to be all the complex kind of elements there. You see there, okay, from these sketches you can see all this kind of detail will be going through, okay, been showing through from this design there, right? Okay, so from here, this high horizontal kind of line, if I want to change from these compositions, right, to demo number 1, using JPEG or Photoshop this. Okay, so and the backgrounds, maybe later on I can draw some of the clouds if I want to. Okay, so the next one is if I want to change the arrangements, become a little bit more lower, for example, or maybe I can change the whole compositions becoming arrange, flip horizontals, and rotate. Why actually I rotate a bit there, right? Because I want to make sure that I can actually show the efforts that I've made to sketch these ideas there using the same kind of compositions there, right? Can you see the difference there? What basically I try to do right now. For the characters itself, I can put a little bit more above, and all the stuff that I did for the details from this composition, I can actually rearrange for my sketches there, right? Using erasers to erase some of the elements that I don't need there. Why? Because I want to make the composition a bit more presentable, logic to show the whole kind of ideas there. I'm using low horizon again. I can actually make it a bit more lower if I want to. This is what we call depth of field there, right? Distance there between two different kind of compositions. So right now, it is now EPS. Okay. Demo 2. Right. So what you can see right now, right here, I'm going to try to open up this file here. Oh, you can. That's there. If you take a look here, guys, there's two different kind of compositions that based on the same ideas there. So right now, what I actually try to explain, try to show you guys, is how to develop a more creative kind of ideas based on the same kind of compositions. Okay, I can actually draw also, right, a clouds there to make the composition a bit more detailed. Clouds there for this arrangement there, for the low horizon there, okay, to make sure that the scenery, the whole things, okay, when we want to add all the element itself, okay, what we call that, last week, when we just plan everything inside our mind, we cannot actually show the depth of feel of our composition there. And I bet, okay, when I draw one of the landscape for you, right, for me, it looks really, really not quite planning well there. I really don't like those kind of drawings there. Why? Because we don't plan it well there, right? Okay. Even I'm also will do such kind of weak kind of compositions if I don't really plan it well. But with this one, okay, you can have different kind of choices there. I try to give you guys one of the smartest way for you guys to develop your creativities when you want to plan your composition for your illustration. Okay, you guys get it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So hopefully you guys can see right now why basically we need to sketch our ideas there. Why actually important for us to plan first ahead our design before we're going to start to work with AI or Photoshop there, okay? Or any kind of applications that can help us to complete or finalize our work. All right. So this is one of it. So if you cannot actually sketch inside using those tablets, okay, what basically I can give you guys some example before I'm going to draw and demonstrate this one there, right? What I can do first, yes, amazing there, okay? The stories, okay, Batman Samurai is quite nice there. And the artwork also, I have also one, also the toys there, right, okay? But yeah, but yeah, I really, really doesn't expect it because when I first saw the, okay, I will stop sharing that first. I want to show you guys in sketchbooks. When I saw basically yesterday, right, I never thought that, right, that kind of things will be appears, okay, in that kind of series there. It's good, lah, okay? It's for fun only, there, right? So now, guys, talk about composition. Try to plan your ideas right here. Okay. Now, if I want to plan the same kind of methods, okay, you can using any kind of ball pen for your sketch. You don't have to buy the expensive kind of drawing tools there, right? And then you say, and you will thought, okay, oh, I don't find this kind of drawing pen there, okay? It's hard for me to sketch, right? Okay, no, you're using ball pen there, right? Okay. When you want to start to draw your compositions, this is how you draw also your composition layout kind of plan there. All right, sketch your ideas in the right way. So we have the first of all, just now we have the low high horizon there, right? Okay, but I put it to more diagonal there. So we start to sketch basically the KLCC there, right? Some of the buildings there, KL towers there, right? You see the drawings here? Hmm? And start to draw the KLCC. Okay, a very rough kind of sketch there, but it will show a lot kind of ideas from you, the directions that we want to go there, right? Okay, and then you want to draw some of the trees as a foregrounds over here, there, right? And some of the bushes of those leaves, and also your characters over here. Rough sketches there, but you plan it well, right? You plan it well there, okay? Because this is one of the type of the planning when you actually work with your clients that you can actually discuss with them. From here, people know where basically your direction is. And of course, some of the clients who doesn't have the right kind of understanding, okay, about the finishing kind of works, they will might going to ask you, okay, is it the character going to be look like this? You guys can say, okay, this is basically the whole structures of the characters there. Before we're going to design all these kind of details, you have to draw something more like this first as a part of those foundations for your design there, right? Okay, foundation for your design there. So when you actually have understand where the directions of your design are going to be, and then we're going to work according to those structures there. We're going to add some details from here. All right. Those are the things that we can do in order to communicate with our clients there, right? Okay. Anything, any questions on the sketches?
Power.
No lah, right? Okay. Draw upside down only, okay? Just cincai there, right? Cincai there, right? Huh? Those are not questions, Miss Anis. Those are not questions there, right? I mean about questions, right? Okay. So any questions that guys about the sketches there? Maybe some of you guys were not actually understand quite clear, okay, how we're going to work on that. It's a very simple kind of ideas there, right? You can develop your ideas first on a piece of papers there. But the best way, even though you're not a design student, you can buy your own small sketchbook, A4 size there, okay, just to jot down or to draw, to scribble anything that you like, because it's a part also a therapy there. When you move your hands, you draw something there, right? Okay. Sometimes you hate someone, okay, you draw something like this there, for example, there, right? Right? It will be more what we call that ease a little bit on yourself there, right? Self there, right? Okay. You express something inside those sketchbooks here. All right. So those are the good things when we actually plan our works, okay, in those sketchbooks there, right? Okay. That's why from today, from this week, when actually Miss Anis told me, okay, we're going to work with kind of landscapes, okay, or blah 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 on those kind of planning there, okay. I'm okay with it because why? Because I know that we need to improvise a little bit for the students to get to know more how to plan their works there, right? Okay. So because I've seen you guys have been doing a very good kind of progress, okay, in order to develop those kind of learning experience using those tablets there. For me, this is a good start there. It's a very good start there, right? Okay. Even though maybe you trace from other people kind of pictures or landscape, maybe there, okay, Cynthia, but it's okay. It's a good starting point for you guys to understand how the tools and the structures on the concept of using AIs were going to be there, okay? You know how to work with it first, all right? And then the only thing that we need to do right now is practice and practice more to develop it more, okay? Any question on Photoshops? Hopefully no. Okay, right now, let me start to do our job, our works using those AI there, right? Okay. But right now I have my not so weapons there, right? Okay. Evening that what we call that session is a bit lazy there, right? Okay. No, right. So, okay, when we have the rough sketches that we have right here. Okay, first of all, normally when I was actually like develop those kind of ideas, when I have all this kind of idea with me there, okay, I always improvise the thing that I saw. One of the thing is if you use pencil tools there right now, You guys can see my screen sharing there, right? So I'm going to start to draw my characters here like this. For example, there, right? Shapes. Okay. When I use pencil tools, I can be more free there, right? Okay, to develop the shapes there. Okay, I can more free develop the shape, even though I think this is not from our Vomider kind characters, right? Don't get confused. You still need to use those shapes of the Vomider directly to work on that. I just want to give you guys some examples here where we can go from here, right? The shape itself, there, right? Okay. From here, normally, right? Okay, using this kind of characters, kind of colors there, I can actually use my own kind of color combinations that I want there, right? Okay. For example, like this one, right? What I can do right now, I can use those, what we call that, what we learned previously. Sorry, there, knife tools, right? Knife tools. I can cut these areas, right? And I can paint. See, easy there, right? And I can actually select this one, cut these areas, right? And I can, oops, paint, right? So what I can do from here, this one I can actually add more details if I want to later on. I can cut these areas here, and then I can paint. Oops, all right. What happens here? I can paint. Select the colors there, right? I can paint. I can add more and more details, guys. Those are the best thing that I love. But when I was using the, what we call that, when I use old versions, okay, this is maybe the inside kind of shapes, right? And I can add more details there, guys. See, we can do a lot of things there from here. So maybe if I'm actually select them, use eyedroppers, just to paint. So you can see, you guys can see, I can add more and more detail for my design, okay? And I can improvise at the same time, okay? One of the reason I don't want you guys to get caught with your sketches only because from this kind of process, right? Process there, okay? I repair this kind of line there, right? We can do a lot of things from here. From those ellipse tools that we have, all right? And actually I can copy this one, zoom in. Am I go too fast for you guys? Yeah, I guess you guys actually more better than me there, right? Okay? So I can actually add more and more detail for my design there, right? Okay, highlight a bit there. And I even can use the, what we call that, direct selection tools, just to give different kind of look of highlight there. Highlight directly on the shape itself directly. What else we can do from here? If you're using various kind of shapes, okay, you will actually will try to develop a little bit more more proper kind of shapes line there, okay, to work with it. So I can actually change the colors over there, right? So right now, okay, this is basically a bevel kind of shapes. Oops. Okay. So yeah. Right now from here, what I can do, I can select this one, group them up first. Okay, group, and I can alternate copy there, right? Okay, and arrange the size there, right? Arrange the size there. I just now actually I've moved around these areas there, right? Okay, move back again. Okay, so we can do tremendous kind of details that if you want to right now there, okay, to work with this kind of design there. So I think I have to readjust a little bit here, right, to make sure that the whole thing is going to be in the proper kind of arrangement there, right. Small things that I can have to change. It's okay. It's not a big thing there, okay, to work. All right, now what else we can do from here? Okay, I did actually design a few things over here there, okay. So we can do both way there, okay. If you, either you can actually use different kind of shapes if you want to. If you don't want to, you can actually use knife tool back again. Select them and color this part. Like the brain of these characters will basically been have different kind of shapes there. All right, from here, from this part, I can actually cut these areas there. So his brain actually look like there is a clouds over there. Select this part, change. Select this part a bit. Either you can use the same colors there, or you can adjust a little bit to make it more darker, because I want to show some depth of field from there. Okay. So what else we can do from here? Either we can use those pencil tools to draw the love shapes there, like that. But this love shapes basically, okay, is a like a fly that fly through the fly through basically inside his mind there, okay, or his head there, okay, inside his mind there. So what I can do from here, I can actually reflect tools there, because I want to make sure that I'm not lazy, okay, when we design things. So we can see show basically, right, we use different kind of arrangements, even though we copy the same kind of shapes there for it. Okay, so what else we can do from here directly? So using pencil tools, I can draw basically the shapes of the, it has a very small kind of wings over there, right? And I can actually use different kind of colors over there and go to appearance. Where is the appearance over here? I can actually change into the opacity there, right? And I can reflect tools back again, and I can rotate and change a bit the colors a bit. From these two different kind of shapes, I can send it to back. Okay. What else we can do from here? A lot. Some shadows line, those shadows line there, right? Okay. So okay, like this. I'm going to select these areas. I can use also hue saturation brightness just to give a bit kind of different kind of shadows there. I'm create a shadows line look like a patterns there, right? There. I want to add more and more details there for this design there, okay? So those are the reason why I'm using this kind of shadows line that to work. What else there? I can actually adjust these areas a bit. Okay, to refine them. Right, maybe this one, maybe I can adjust later on there. So what I can do from here, I can actually use those knife tools, just to draw a bit kind of detailing over here, there, right? To show some depths of fields. Eyedroppers, change a bit there. See? So all the patterns are going to be get into those kind of design there, right? Okay, what else there? Okay, the hands itself there, right? Even though the legs there, right? I can use also pen tools, the old pen tools there, right? There, right? See, to draw the legs, right? The legs itself there. From here, I can design using those what we call that knife tools to draw the legs, look like an elephant kind of shapes there, or elephant kind of shapes there, right? Oops. Like this one. Not combine them together there. Why? Zoom in back again because of this one. Yeah. That's why you have to zoom in. Whether it's right or not. I'm not doing right. So what I can do here. What's wrong with this? Maybe because of the pen, the knife tool there, right? Let me do back again. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Simple there, right? So don't make life complicated there. Next thing is, if I want to use the same shapes over here, then select most of them. I can group them up, Control G, reflect tools there. And I can also use rotations there, right? It works. If I want to make difference there, kind of what we call that, if I want to make a little bit kind of detailing, some different kind of positions, of course we can actually change there, right? You can change all the time there, okay, to work there, right? How about the hands? Okay, don't forget to save your files there at the same time. You take a look at your sketches there, right? Okay, it's not almost the same there, okay? And of course, we can always improvise to make it more better there, right? Okay? To make more better there, right? So the eyes can be a bit more like here, right? You can do more, create more eyes there if you want to there, right? Okay, up to you guys there how it works. What else we can do from here? So I can actually draw the shapes of the hand. Like that, right? But I'm not going to use black. I'm going to use dark brown a bit from there. Right. The same goes to this one. I can copy reflect tools. Where is it? Reflect tools. Not make it right. From 90%. Okay. Size, oh sorry, this is the size tools. The reflect tools over here. And then I can rotate there. And send you back. Okay. So basically we complete the characters first. Right. But of course I can add another shadows over here if I want to. I can give all these kind of details, okay, depending on the way that we are going to work on that. All right. So this is a good start of those design and the characters there first. Now we play the layers for the foreground. Okay, start with the foreground there, right? Okay? Lock these layers there. This is a foreground there, right? Foreground, what we have? Bunch of 2, 3, 4. A bunch of, what is it? grass or tree there. So when you use a foreground kind of color combinations there, right? If using colors there, even though normally we train people using grayscales, all right? Using grayscales there. But I want to train you guys, okay? Try to play with some colors there. So I'm going to combine the shapes there first, like this. Even though these areas won't be able to appear there, right? I just want to refine them and combine them back. Okay. What we can do from here, right? We can do another grass if you want to, but I just want to tell you guys first, this is only one simple kind of compositions there, elements there. What if we make it a little bit more complex? Okay, complex there, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Different kind of grass there, right? Yeah. So what else we can do from here? In paint right here if I want to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? I can change into different kind of shapes. Okay? Different kind of patterns there. See, the grass become a bit more different there, right? So that's what I say, okay? If you actually really develop the right kind of understanding there, okay, on your developments using all the tools that I actually have given you guys, you can do a lot of great things there with all the simple tools. Group them up first, and we can actually write, oops, sorry, there, right. Select all, B, right, okay? Select all, group that first, and then later on, you copy, and then you can actually reflect, and you can actually write scale down there, right? Rotate. And we can combine, and we can actually adjust more, and we can actually reflect. We can actually resize. So all these kind of tools that you actually keep on practicing and doing there, okay, you can actually create your own kind of compositions here. You just have to develop a creativity, that you have to be creative to work with that. Okay, whatever that you think that's possible for you to work with. Okay, there. So this is basically the foreground. Okay, we can still draw the tree log if you want to. How to draw the tree log there, right? Using the pen tool there, right? Pencil tool right here. There's a branch over there. Right now, the color itself there, right? Color guide, brown maybe. Why did not appear here there? Okay, oh, they appear over here, right? So why actually are using more bold and dark kind of colors there for the foregrounds? Because I want to show some depth of fields there. The shadows are going to be covered a little bit on the foreground itself there, right? Then I'm going to send to back, but using different layers there, right? So of course from here I can actually use different kind of colors there. It works there. It doesn't have to be brown all the time there. But a bit kind of what we call that different kind of saturations there. So from here, all right, what we can do, knife tools. I used to use, if I'm not using knife tool, I'm going to use combine tools directly. So right now, tree log directly, the shapes of the tree log is based on the shadows there. Okay. So basically, this is the shadows for the tree log. You see that? The shape itself. Remember what Miss Ani said about the creating the light and shadows there, right? Okay, kind of combinations that you're going to apply for your comics maybe later on. Combine the silhouette shapes there. So from here, the highlight directly. Maybe there is going to be the highlights of it. I'm using the textures of the tree log there to work with this kind of highlight. There. See? Right? Simple, right? Okay. Group them out first. I basically have always Control Z directly to change there, right? So this one, basically you can actually select them together and group them up first there. Control Z to group. Okay, then you can rearrange whenever areas that you want there, okay? But remember, okay, this is our canvas there. So whatever that we do, put everything inside the picture, right? So if I want to add another tree log, maybe there, right? I can put it right here and scale it a bit lah. Just to give some people's kind of examples, but scale, put shift. Give it kind of, even though some people don't see this kind of details there, you have to see it first. Maybe right here. We never know. We never know that. Hide a bit there, right? Just to make the composition, right, will be more kind of looks complex there, look details there, right? Okay, in a very vectorized kind of way there, right? It works. All right, for the foreground, there's a lot of things we can do also from here, guys. So right now, add new layers for the ground. Characters, separate them, right? This is the ground. The ground itself directly. What we can do from here. All right. It's all bring back to the memories back again. As I mentioned you guys before, I haven't actually touched AIs for more than 5 years. Combine them together there. Where is it? The new stuff there, right? Because sometimes I quite find create a bit kind of all this kind of interactive kind of grid there, right? Is it right? It's okay. What I can do, move around here to make a little bit more messy kind of shapes there, right? You remember what I said before, right? Whatever things that happens in the process, right? In the backgrounds, right? Sometimes client doesn't know that, right? Sometimes our workstations, our working kind of files is quite messy there, right? So I remember what actually had been learned from one of my colleagues there, I think become a friend now, things there. A brother to me also. But he's doing a 3D kind of animation style, right? He learned also from, right? He learned also from, he's a self-taught, right? He learned also from the Bibles there. What he told me there, okay? When they design their backgrounds for one of the 3D kind of setting there, okay? Basically, they show everything nice in that shot or camera angle that they want to portray, right? Whatever that happens from the background or the surrounding there, basically there, right? people doesn't have to know there, okay? All the chaos, all the messing around, right? Just like when you actually in a studio, prop studio, right? You want to shoot something, right? The surrounding, the areas that you actually create the environments to shoot one product basically is quite messy there, okay? But whatever that you show on the camera scenes, those are the things that people want to see only there. Look nice there, right? Look neat there, right? Same goes to my workstation before. I changed the workstation there, right? I changed the room there, right? So same thing there, right? So what I talk about messy there, right? Okay, right now is a thing there, right? This thing is not properly arranged there because this is our canvas, right? Okay? Whatever actually going to be appear, right? Okay? Over basically the background, okay, over the borders, okay, will not be appear when you print it out, when you actually save into JPEG files, okay. So remember that. So now I'm using a very light kind of colors there for the ground, okay, but still in the almost like a warm combined with the cool kind of colors there combination. And I'm going to every time if I want to basically combine basically the whole point there, okay, on the line itself, on the shape itself, I'm going to click to this unite button on the pathfinders there. Okay, so from here we have foregrounds, we have the ground and the characters itself there, okay. I just say you want to design, okay, the shapes for these characters, the shadows in the same colors and shadows there. No hit. Simple kind of shadows there. Okay, remember that we actually also draw some of the element like grasses there, right? So adjust a little bit the colors and you can mix them up. Of course, if you have to make this grass actually right appear on top of the shapes here, just cut them and put into your characters layers there, right? Right. So the composition become more kind of logic and neat there, right? And also change the size of the grasses there. Make a variety kind of looks. Look like a little bit kind of you actually do a lot of hard work, right? There. Okay. Don't skew or all that distort the shapes there. Using shift all the time there, right? If you want to scale them up. Even though you can actually reflect them if you want to. All the tools that you use, basically that actually used to develop this kind of compositions, okay? Basically almost the same there, right? See, you can see all these kind of details there. Will be coming through over here. This one, put it right here. Then you also can use reflectors there. So the grass doesn't look a bit more like the same only right? Even though you can play also with colors if you want to. Okay. There. All right. So how long is it that I'll take to design all this kind of stuff there, okay? Not quite long there, right? So that's why, okay, practice make the progress, not perfect there, okay? I never actually try to achieve a perfections on the works there. I just want to make the works look more presentable there. So this is the ground, for example, there. You can create another ground kind of elements there, like trees, right? The coconut tree there, for example, there. You can use any kind of shape that you want. If you want to use a free form kind of shapes, of course, if you want to use outline, make sure you use different kind of shapes of outline there too. All right, different shapes, different kind of sizes, volume of outline there, okay? So right now I'm creating the coconut tree here. But right now, okay, other than using this kind of shapes, it's good for you to separate between the line, between the areas there first, because later on you're going to combine them, okay? Try to make all the line become a bit more neat, not doesn't have any kind of double line there, right? Okay. So what we can do from here, same thing. I'm going to create exactly the shadows and so the pattern itself. I'm going to draw the shapes of the coconut there, okay? The patterns of the coconut over here. So what I can do right now, I'm going to change the colors there first. There. I can change also different kind of colors over here if I want to. Right? Oops. One eyebrow this. Oops. One eyebrow this there. So what else that we can do? Okay, these areas there. Oops. Knife tools. Cut over here a bit. There. Right. We can add some details there if I want to. For examples here. So what I can do, select both, all of them. Let's just say the shadows came from here, the light came over here. So the shadows will be fall off a little bit right here, right? So from this part, basically, I can change the colors there, right? This one. The shadows there, see? Now I set the patterns, I look like a snake there, but it's not. What else we can do also there, okay? Sometimes I can actually add a bit kind of another patterns here. Scale, plus, scale. Give more kind of detailing. Okay, for those three, it's very, very great kind of explorations that if you actually look into more kind of different kind of way, okay, the tree or the coconut kind of call that. Yeah, we can actually design few different kind of colors there, right? But not too warm there, okay, because we don't want to making mess around later on with the composition and the depth there, right? And maybe like this one a bit. So when I have the same shapes here, oh, maybe I can actually add another, what we call that, highlights there, right? I can actually, right, do different kind of highlights there and rotate. There, right? And rotate there. See? Shiny bit, right? Shine like a diamond. Right? 1, 2, 3, shift, right? Click shift. Group them up, save. And then you can actually, right, use the same shapes, right? And then resize, click shift, and then you can actually use another one over here, maybe there, right? And you can rotate them there, right? Like a bowling ball there, right? So what I can do from here, I can use also pencil tools, draw those leaves. Yeah, maybe a bit more like this one. and I can actually send you back that first. My what we call that, my hands become sweating a bit already. Now I can actually design basically those patterns for those leaves here. There. If I actually want to design back more, I can change. Yeah, the patterns there, right? Same kind of styles that I can use from the previous kind of leaf there, but this is more like a pattern for those call that this coconut leaves. Yeah, group them up. The next thing is simple there. Alternate, rotate. Alternate, reflect tools, and then rotate. There. Am I going too fast for you guys?
What can you do?
Yeah. But I think you guys get the ideas there, okay? Because the tool that I use basically the same, right? It's basically the same there. Don't worry there, right? I'm not using any kind of different kind of tools, right? The only thing that I changed basically for today, I'm using tablets there, okay? So the thing is right now, group the shapes over here, right? Scale it down like this to show depth of fields there, right? The distance between these two, what we call that, two different kind of elements there, right? What next we can do? What are the next things that we can do from here? We can add some shadows there if you want to. Keep the files there first. Now we focus on the background there, right? So the background there, okay, first of all, to complete all these kind of presentations, I can actually create a boxes over there and change the colors there. Okay. I'm not using blue. Why? Because green also a part of those styles of color, kind of what we call that nature's kind of color that I want to emphasize from the color generators that I find from my own kind of choices to develop the sky and to show also more the depths of fields there. And of course, what other thing I make mistakes there? I cannot use the same kind of colors over here. They emphasize the background colors there, right? So maybe we can change later on, right? So how to change them? I found out there is a paint bucket over here. Light a little bit and can change it. Select them and change it. Can change? Yeah, yeah. Select them. Too sensitive there. Change. Yeah. Okay. More better there, right? Okay. So all these kind of sensitivities, right? Okay, that you create along the way is came from the process of developing your ideas there. Now, basically, this is the oops, what I have to say because I think I didn't combine better there, right? What I can do, right? I'll just redraw back again. This one I can lock them up first. I don't want to make some sort like interruptions there. Not all right. Can we actually design many areas here? This to be okay. Is that okay? If I'm using right Direct selection tools, they can actually solve the problem of selections there. Then I can actually give a little bit kind of balance on the hue saturation, brightness for those choices of color to show the depth of field from the distance of this mountain or landscape there, right? Okay? So what next we can do from here? I can draw the cloud. Okay. Working with the cloud there. Sorry, there, right? Okay, you can select them. There. So what I can do here is just create clouds there, right? From here, I can create another shapes of cloud there, right? There. Oops. There. Now you see, guys, we have the depth of fields, we have the compositions, we have the whole thing that require you to develop the world for these characters using the methods that we actually have been working on. Okay, for this exercise there. And if you take a look nicely there, okay, if you look in a more different kind of way, right, the more proper kind of way, basically there, okay. What I did right now, if we plan it well, our design, our sketches there, right, our presentations will become more better there. Okay, our presentations will become more better there, right. We have more kind of organized and arrangements there, okay, when we sketch and plan our ideas for it. For me, okay, this time basically I really satisfied with what I do there. Okay? Maybe because I really can actually speed up a little bit more on my way of working it because I already get used basically with the tablet, okay, because when using mouse for me there is a lot of restriction there. That's why makes sometimes mostly our job become more slower there, right? Okay, I can do more and more from here if I want to, but this is one of the way we can actually execute and we actually develop the ideas at the same time, right, guys? So that's how actually it goes there. So for any questions?
No, sir.
All right, so can you see the different kind of way of working and the detailing that we can do other than we actually have been experienced uh, basically last week, okay, about doing this kind of exercise, right? You can see the difference, right? Okay, you can see the speed, you can see the details, you can see all this kind of connection between what you should actually do and apply there, okay, for the next of your exercise here. Remember that, okay? Low and high end horizontals there, okay? If I were to change it to this area from low end to high end, I can do it as well, right? For examples here, with this one composition here, right? Let's just say that, okay, I'm going to bring this into more lower kind of horizontals. I can, right? High end horizontals there. But of course, this part I have to arrange a bit, right? And some of the areas from this part there, right, I have to rearrange at the same time. Not this one, but this one there, right? Okay, can you see there, right? And of course the shadows, put it back over here. So you can play around with different kind of compositions by using the same kind of illustrations that you can test them out, right? Okay, you can test them out there, right? So that's why, okay, other than that, okay, the mountains here, right? Have to change that. But I believe one thing, because the mountain, we cut them up using the knife tool, right? Using the knife tool there, right? So basically what we need to do when we have grouped them up, we have to rearrange, okay, positions. And normally I'm going to separate within every single shapes, right? If I want to develop the this kind of illustrations there, I'm not going to use knife tool all the time directly. Because why? Like this one there, okay? Because I want to create the mountain basically a bit more like we can see the mountain kind of shapes will be appear from here directly. So what I can do, I can actually just rearrange the shapes and then maybe I'm going to modify it a bit. Right, get the shapes to make sure that I can actually portray the depth of the mountains there, right here. Okay, you see the connections, the difference there. See basically the ideas behind what we actually have learned from theoreticals of the compositions. And right now for your assignments there, right? Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So any point to adding light shadows to the background? Mountains will it will look weird or add details depending there, right? Okay, depending there, because sometimes depending, right, if you actually have add a lot of detail in front there, okay, if you want to add some shadows and light over here, yes you can. For example there, right, you have to add a very simple kind of shapes of light, okay, like for example here, if the light came over here, what you can do to create the very simple shapes like this, right? And then what you can do is can add using direct selection tools, shadows there, maybe it can be. And the other thing is around, okay, because this looks a little bit more like not quite uh, proper directly for this kind of areas there. What you can do, you can actually write what I can actually always do sometimes to show more details. Copy this one. Right. There's one features that I can remember directly. Sorry, send you back. We can actually change the colors there without changing the whole things manually there. Right? I can't remember the tools there. So I think after this I have to what we call that. Going to explore a little bit more. Color teams, color guide. Maybe there is a few features okay, that I can automatically change the colors there without changing manually there. Right? There's a few features there, but if I don't want to use that features, I just use the flat colors over like that to show basically there is a distance there. And also I can actually write refract tools, right? Change the size, rotate a bit. I can use different kind of colors there. Okay? I'm using a little bit more like greenish and bluish kind of colors there, right? To show the depth or feel from here. And I even can change, right, to show more distance. right? Something like that. All right, there's a lot of things that we can do from there to add a bit more and more details there. But if you want to, if you take a look back again, all this kind of combination of color that I used to write, there is a focal point there, right? Where is it the focal point? The characters, basically the point, the focus point there, okay, on these compositions there. It show balance, and by the same time, they have the harmonize and using those colors there. I'm using a lot of combination with green colors there, but different kind of value of tone at the same time. Okay, so in terms of using the colors there, you can use color generators to adding your kind of values to experiment with it more on your design there, right? Okay, so it will help, okay, but to develop the right kind of combinations of colors there, you need to experiment and do a lot of your illustrations work on there. All right, okay, Alim, am I answering your questions? All right, so develop that kind of understanding there, okay, in order to work, okay, with your illustrations there. We need a lot of practice there. You need to do and create a lot of your, what we call that, uh, personal kind of projects, okay, that actually lead into the right kind of senses that you want to develop for your designs later on. Otherwise, right, one or two works that you've been developed, okay, it can't be expected, okay, that you can actually do as things that you want. That you actually cannot develop those senses by using or working with only one or two design there, okay. That's why for this week, we need to have 5 different kind of sketches there using manual or traditional or digital therapy. Both can, okay, to develop and plan first your landscape compositions there. After that, you choose one of them and trace and draw them back inside those AI. Okay, that will lead also into your assignments there, right? Okay, in week 5, okay, so week 4, I want to see the progress of sketches and some of the things that you've been experiment that will relate it to our assignments or maybe not. You can actually just put it into our Google Classroom and also our Microsoft Team there, okay? Because all these kind of experiments will benefit your kind of developments there. Okay? All right, guys. Any questions?
Hi, sir. I have a question
Yes.
about the weekly submissions. Like, I'm in the Google Classroom. For some
Mhm.
reason, I'm not being able to directly submit the JPEG version, so I've been submitting as Google Drive link. So I was wondering if you have received those. Like, you can view the links.
Why you cannot actually save into JPEG?
I can save it as JPEG, but I'm not being able to upload it in the Google Classroom for some reason. It says some error or something.
Or is it?
Yeah,
If
that's
you
why.
if you actually submit in Google Drive there, right? Okay, wait, I will check. What's your name?
Tanzina.
Tanzina there, right? No, here there, right? I don't think that I can actually receive lah, but you can actually, if you can actually upload also in Microsoft Teams, it will be more better, right?
All right, right, sure.
All right. I don't
Okay.
know what happens there to your link there or to your connections there, right? Okay. But normally there is no problem to upload the JPEG files. But can you actually try PDF?
Okay, I'll try that.
Try PDF, okay? Because if you upload in Google Drive, normally I'm might going to be miss out basically your submissions there, right? That's what I'm afraid, okay? Because the files that we needed basically for AI is not that big there, right? Okay, for the submissions.
Okay.
So okay,
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
all right, welcome there. Anything else? All right, anything else there, guys? Okay, don't get confused. Okay, whatever that we plan, that we have planned with Miss Anis, we're going to be follows them. The exercise of the progressions basically to give more values for your senses there, to develop your senses. At the same time, easy for us to see your progressions and also developments and to develop and to give those marks from there. Because we don't want to see only the finished works there. Because finished work sometimes can be developed in any way around there, okay? But we want to see the proof, whether you guys have been working or not. You have been exploring basically your ideas there before you're going to turn out into those finishing kind of works there, right? And one of the best way also you can actually produce, you can produce something like this, okay? This is the first step that you do. Then what you can do from here, export into JPEG or PDF if you have, right? So this is what the number one, right? For example, here like this one, RGB, quality is maximum. 72 dpi is more than enough. If you want to click 150, go ahead. Right, click OK. The second part is the foreground or the background there, or the foreground like this. And then you export your process over here.
Sir, I think you're not sharing the screen.
Oh, sorry there. Okay, thank you very much there, right? All right. Okay, I'm sharing the screen back again. Yeah, I'm sharing the right. So what you can do here, okay, you save the files over here according to the layers there, right? And then right, submit them right in RGB, what we call that JPEG files. Resolution are going to be 150 dpi there, right? So a bit more high resolutions, not high but medium kind of resolutions there. So draw the backgrounds with the sketches right at the back there. You see basically the process that you've been working on there, right? So here, yeah, the last one there, right? Export, save as files there. Right. So the last part basically is the sketches there, right? Okay? So what you can do from here, what I can actually submit there, right, for you guys. I'm going to upload basically like all this sketches there, right? All this kind of process over here, right? So this week basically we work with the compositions there, right? And layout for landscapes, illustrations, based from original ideas. The criteria is sketch. You have basically the brief there, right? I just want to add in a bit more. Okay, sketch 5 different sketches. Different ideas there by using high and low. Arrangements. Okay. Am I actually give you guys a clear ideas on that?
Sorry?
Have you actually understand about this kind of what we call that a very simple kind of brief there that actually can be add also from Miss Ani's kind of brief formally there, okay? I just want to give a bit kind of explanation in written there, okay, from what we actually have done right now. Just can get the ideas there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So this one actually related to what actually Miss Atis have been working on. And of course, whatever that you guys actually did last week there, okay? Hopefully you can do more better there, okay? By planning back again your works there, right? Okay? Because you can see from what actually have shown you guys today, when we really plan it well, right? Even though I have a few minutes there, okay? Or few 1 or 2 hours with you guys there, okay? Other than I explanation and do some of the things there. But you guys have 6 days a week to complete this exercise there, right? So I will basically look forward to see that you can actually do more better with from what I've done right now in order to develop the right kind of understanding there by using the tools and also to develop your design sense at the same time. Okay, basically today I actually give you guys the methods how to develop your creativities, but it's all up to you. It's all up to you how actually you're going to work on that. Okay, how actually you're going to build up those kind of creativities kind of works there. The methods were there, right? The methods that we actually been working on is there, but you have to develop frequently there, okay? Enjoy the process of working there and do a bit more research there, right? Okay, so any last questions?
Sir, the sketches doesn't have to come with colors, right?
No, no, no. Right.
We
You're going to color your works in AI there, right? The
Okay.
sketches has to be just black and white, all right? That's a part of the sketches will be. Right? Don't spend too much time on sketches until you don't have time to complete your works there. Normally, when we use sketches to plan ideas, there, right? You can plan more than 5 ideas in one day to develop your illustrations work. Sketches can actually do more than 5 basically. If you want to train basically your brain to develop more quick kind of ideas there, even though you have a very tight deadline, develop a lot of planning in sketchbooks, or you can sketch out also in digital kind of formats at the same time. Don't
Okay.
spend too much time to sketch out our ideas there, okay? All right. Anything else there? So we have around 34 there, right? 34 people in our class there. It's quite a huge number there, guys, right? So what we have right now, okay, is less than what we actually there, right? Okay, to submit. So don't delay your works there, right? Don't delay your works there, right? So you got around 15. I think another half of it, right, should actually submit the works there. Okay, don't delay your works there, right? Otherwise, you will be lose some of the information or some of the energies that you want to create basically your design works there, right? It's a good start, but you can add more and more details there. Shadows line over here, right? Some more details on the patterns for the shadows, that's right. It can be, there's a lot of things we can do from here, there, right? So whatever that you guys can do, always learn and because the techniques were there. I believe that you know the tactics there, okay? Just go back and vector illustrations, right? Landscapes, for example. There. You see a lot of detailing and stuff over there. This is one of examples there. But there is more from here you can go. See how actually they use the combination of colors there. The distance doesn't have to be the same natural colors, but they use a little bit more like a bluish kind of green combinations there to show the soft, cool kind of depth of field of the colors itself there. The middle grounds normally are going to be in warm colors there. Right? Warm colors there at the same time. So, all right, other than that, okay, I just want to give you guys one extra kind of thing, one extra kind of examples there. Even though we can use Photoshop, but sometimes my presentations that I did for the work that I've done before, the right. So let's just see the right. Right now, I'm going to crop these areas there first, because I believe they actually right. The AI that I have right now, they actually bring all the whole things, okay, in the same kind of JPEG files there. So what I can do from here, normally, I want to create some text there. Look more like a vintage kind of looks like on my presentations. So what I can do right now, I think I have a paper text here, right? Open up the files again. Now you guys can see the screen, right? So now you guys can see, right, okay, all the stuff that I have did right here. Where is it? Paper text is there, right? You want to make the look and feel of this illustration a bit more vintage. Yeah, I can use paper textures like this. It's simple, right? They're only playing using textures there, right? To work, to create my presentations of my illustrations a bit more vintage. Multiplied, right? Multiplied there. You want to try that? Go ahead. Combine these two different software at the same time. I can actually play with screen, not nice there. Overlay there maybe. See, overlay. You see the different kind of looks and feels there. They give you more complex kind of details for your presentations there, right? Can you see that, guys? So this is what textures will have, will give you guys a look and feel for your presentation. Maybe you can actually share with you guys there. Sorry. Simple, they're right. Simple methods that can bring a good impact of the works for the works there. That's not safe. Like flatten them up. Save the files. This is number 5. Not complete your request because an error is there. Okay, what error is there? Okay, save the file for me there, right? I close them up. Maybe I could save in different areas there. Okay, select all, copy, new files, okay. Cannot do SI request, close. Save the files there right here. I can settle there, right? All this kind of stuff sometimes right here. Sometimes makes a bit annoying there. Right? A bit annoying there, okay? All these kind of things there, okay? Because of those, because I love to work a bit more quick there, right? Okay? So edit, where is it? Just a button here. There's a button over here, there, right? For edit the files. Where is it? Just the button to edit, right? Okay, to add new files and oh yeah, click on sorry there, right? I feel a bit dizzy there right now. Yeah. You guys also, right? Okay, keep quiet there, right? Be safe. Are you guys sleeping, huh? Right. Yeah. Yeah, right. There you go. Right. The last compositions there, right? Okay, that we actually did to give a little bit more kind of different kind of look and feel for our illustrations there that you guys can use also at the same times okay, for your presentation, right? So a simple kind of way, but they give a very good impact on our presentations. All right. No, all right. Just shy there, okay? Wait until I can meet you guys, everyone there, okay? Physical there, okay? Face to face. I don't know, maybe. But if you guys see me around, right, I will be more shy than you guys. I will be. All right. Okay, guys, any questions there so far? Hopefully you guys gain benefit, okay, from these sessions there. And I do actually want to remind you guys to delay your kind of exercise there, even though maybe some of you guys just want to wait until week 5 to submit the whole thing. Don't do it like that. If you really want to score there, okay, because why? The idea is to develop the progress is for us to see your kind of development, okay? Whether you guys can develop or not on right, okay? Because using a computers, right? Normally, anything can be do there, okay? Sometimes we can actually people can cheat them out there, okay? So we can actually have the skeptical kind of look and feel there. How? Because we can actually assume whether the students or some people actually just cheat them outrightly on developing the ideas when they provide us the sketches. Okay, from the way that you draw, develop your ideas, we see whether the student or the person can do the works or not. There, okay. So the tools that you're using in tablets, okay, in AI in Photoshop, okay, it's nothing there, right? Compared to your process of developing those ideas there, okay? Those are the things there, right? So remember, okay, we work with those sketches, plan your ideas there first, and then we start to develop them, refine them back, and improvise by using the knowledge that we learn from the tool, okay, from the application itself. Okay. So if there are any questions or if you might going to have any questions, please ask us okay, in our groups, okay, or personal message me, okay. So hopefully we can actually assist you guys later on from there. And thank you very much for having me today. And also good luck with your assignments and take care of yourself and have a nice day. Thank you guys. Have a good evening.